Hello, it's Gem Games here once again, and in this video we're going to actually create the functionality so we can interact with the actors. So yeah, let's get started. First, let's go to the blueprints and to the PP first person character. And let's go to the event graph. And now let's go to the edit and project settings. And under the engine, we have this input. Here on action mappings, let's create a new action mapping. Let's call it interact. Let's map it to whatever we want. I will map it to E. Let's close this. Now let's find some empty space here on the event graph. Let's right click and search for a interact. And we want to find this action events interact, this one. Okay, now what we want to do, we want to create a new function. Let's call it interact. And now let's go back to the event graph and let's call this interact event here on the input action interact. Now here on interact event, what we want to do is simple as we want to get our interaction hit actor reference, and we want to get from it and call that interact message under the interactable interface. Sorry, I'm saying interact like a million times in this video, but yeah. So we'll call this blueprint interface function. So we don't have to do anything else here. We don't have to check anything because we are already checking everything here on the trace. We are setting everything so we can interact or we can't interact. Oh, I'm so stupid. We still have to sorry about that. We have to get the can interact, and we want to add a branch. I don't know what I was talking about. Sorry about that. So we want to check if we can interact, and if we can, then we will interact like this. Simple as that. Now let's compile, save. Let's go to the first person map. Let's go to the interactables. Let's actually duplicate this test actor. Let's call it door or something like that. Let's open it. And here on the door, let's go to the viewport. Let's change this set height to like 2 and set position 100 so it's in the like surface. Now Y like scale, let's make it 0.05 so it looks a little bit like door. Now what we want to do, we want to rename this to door, but now you can see our pivot point is here in the middle. Now if we rotate this, it will look like this. So we don't want to do it like that. So let's click on the default scene root. Let's add a scene. Let's call this scene a hinge. Now let's move this hinge to the corner of the door here. Or you can also move it here if you want, but let's leave it here on at the bottom. Now let's move the door under it. Now when we rotate the hinge, when we rotate the hinge, you can see the door rotates like it's supposed to rotate. So let's create the code for it. So let's compile, save, and let's go to the event graph. Here, let's delete all of these. And what we want to do here is we want to create a new function, custom event. Let's call this open. And let's add an input. Let's call this open also. So if we want to open or not. Now let's add a branch so we can check this condition. Now from the true, let's create a timeline. Actually, let's move this to the play from start. So control and move. Okay. And the false, let's connect it to reverse from end. Now let's rename this timeline to open, close, TL or something like that. Let's open it. Let's set the length. Let's make it like 2 seconds or something like that. Let's add a float track. And here on the 0, let's add a key. Let's make the time 0 and value 0. Let's add another key. Let's make the time 2 or whatever we have set the length and value 1. Okay, it should look like this. And here on the first key, let's right click and set it to auto so it's smooth, Compile, save, and we can close this. Now here on the event graph, what we want to do, we want to get our hinge And we want to set relative rotation. We can also do this with world rotation, but this is better way, because otherwise if we rotate it on the level, it will not work correctly. So let's do it with the relative rotation. Now let's split this, get the set rotation, because here on the viewport we can see we want to rotate it on the set axis. You can see here, when we rotate it, you can see this changes. And this value should be minus 90. Okay, on the event graph, let's get from the new rotation set and let's lerp. So this will lerp between these two values, from A to B. And now let's get the new track to the alpha. And the A should be 0, like here now. And the B should be minus 90, or whatever you want to rotate that door to. And the next thing is we want to get from the direction. We want to switch on E timeline direction, like this. Now we want to get the finished. And here what we want to do, we want to create a new variable. Let's call it is open. Okay, let's move this a little bit further up. And now from the forward, we want to set the is open to true. And from the backwards, we want to set is open to false. So when we finish opening it, it will be open. When we finish closing it, it will be closed. So not open. Let's move it even more upwards like this. And after that, we want to set the can interact to true, because we want to set it to false when we call this. So we cannot interact in between when the door is moving. Okay, otherwise it will not look good. Okay, now we want to call all this. So let's get our interact, this one. Let's move it up here. And here on the interact, what we want to do, we want to first set can interact. We want to set it back to false, like this. Now we want to call our open function, this one. Actually, why does it say it's function? Let's actually, yeah, it is this, but this is custom event, but okay, it doesn't matter. Now the open, what we want to do, we want to get is open, and we don't want to connect it straight away. We want to get not boolean, because if it's is open, not, so not open, then we want to set it to open when it plays. So we want to play this one, play from start. And when it's is open, not, so it's closed, false, so it's open, then we want to call this one, so we will close it. Now we have created everything else, so it should actually work. So let's compile, save, and we can close this. Here on the level, I want to just, let's delete that. Let's do some little, let's delete that. Now let's get these. Oh, now I did something weird. Now let's make this size a little bit smaller. Let's actually make it like that. You don't have to do this, but I'm just doing some things. Okay, now I want to move these to maybe here. Then I will duplicate it and move it to here. And let's actually delete that. These two. Okay, I don't know why I did all this. I think I might delete this from when I'm editing this, but maybe not. Let's see. Now you want to move the door to here, and you want to rotate it according to your object where you want to set it, or like put it. Now let's move it so it fits better, like that. Now when we save, play, let's see if it works. So we can interact. We cannot because we didn't. Oh, my Unreal glitch. Oh, so I have to restart the editor. So, one sec. So, I'm back. Now, we want to click on this door actor and we want to make it interactable. Can interact true, because otherwise we cannot interact like it says. Now let's go here. Now we can see it. Let's press E. It will open, but I did rotate it incorrectly. So, click on that. Press E. Let's rotate 180 degrees. Now let's play again. So now, when we go to here, press E, it will open, but we cannot interact when it's moving. And now we can again. Now we cannot. Now we can. Yeah, it's working like it's supposed to work. And the collision is not working correctly. Oh, I cannot fit through there. I don't know why. But yeah. Yeah, you can see it's working correctly. Let's actually fix the collision of the player also. So let's go back to the PP first person character. And here on the capsule component, let's set our capsule radius to like 45. Now it should fit. So compile, save, play. Press E. Let's go through. Yeah, as you can see, we can fit through now. So yeah, I actually think that was all for this video. If you liked what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe for more. Yeah, hope you have a great day and see you on the next one. Bye.